Hey guys, it's Bihama here. I finally got my author's copy. Awesome. So today is Sunday, September 6th, and 3 p.m. I promise you guys to that I will be live at 2 p.m. But somehow I have too many deadlines to attend to. So, and I was also still waiting for my book, and yeah, like I said, it just came in. So from here, it's just go to the book. As I promised, today we are going to be reading together from today. Then every Wednesday at 9 p.m. They will be going I will be sharing different I will be sharing different topics, discussion like business, how I started my startup and my experiences. Then on Friday at 9 p.m., unless if the schedule changes, then I will be sharing. Basically, it's the Q&A, so question and answers about the book. Then Sunday we read, but Q&A just for maybe 2 3 questions. The Q&A will be only when on Wednesday on Friday. Sorry. So now fast forwarding, um, before I start now with the book, I want to highlight different names of people who have been really supportive, who made this work come true. But at the same time, I completely forgot, or they happen not to be on the name mentioned in the book. Chief of them is Dr. Natasha Shaw. She is my former professor at Notre Dame de Namibia University. She taught me biochemistry. She's definitely an awesome teacher. Thank you, Natasha. There is Dr. Khalid White. He's my professor from San Jose City College at the community college. Thank you, Khalid White. There is also my sister Mary, my sister Violet, and each and every other person who is not mentioned in the dedication or acknowledgement. So I think that's what I wanted to share first. Then fast forwarding again, let's go into the introduction. So the introduction of the book really does uh, maybe also some clarification. If you bought the book, or if you got a copy, or if I forwarded you a copy or an ebook, then if you've read it or you are reading it, please consider writing a review on what you think, or the improve if you need this think some improvement need to be made. I can always do some editing and resubmit the book. So I think Amazon allowed that to happen. So the introduction is very short. If you notice, I also don't talk about Africa a lot, and that is because I next year I will be publishing my biography. That means I talk about when I was born, my experiences in Africa, my experiences outside Rwanda, and until the time I publish this book. So stay tuned. My other project coming up in the spring, I will be publishing another book called The Seven Rules of Life by Bihama. So these are the things I have collected or I have learned. I have advised people. Some of them did it and it worked. Some others ignored it and they failed and they came back and blamed me. So I compiled all those experiences and put them into seven simple rules that I believe we should abide by. And yeah, definitely gonna be an amazing piece of work too. So I checked on the statistics of how the book is going. Yeah, we are starting to pick up. So thank you so much for each and everyone who got the copy. So into reading now. So the introduction. the introduction, which is like the, or maybe let's go to the preface. So I said, when I left Africa, I was so ecstatic. That's just that's a simple fact. When you are in America, maybe if you skip one page to page XII, that's 13th. So to the introduction, uh, when you see me talking about Chuck Norris, you hear about California, you hear about America, the beautiful New York, Chicago, Boston, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Hollywood. You hear the Chris Browns, like these big names, but you will rarely hear that there is actually homeless people, people who don't have food, people who sleep hungry, people who don't have a cloth, people who don't have even money to travel, or even who don't even have anything. So you will never hear that. So you hear America the Great, but America of the suffering, you really never hear that. So to me, I was ecstatic because I knew I'm coming to a country where everybody's rich and money is everywhere. Every people give a lot of money, and so I was so excited. So from my country, I have seen death. So let me continue reading a little bit. So I have seen death, hunger, desperation, and hate. So this one is evident, particularly during the genocide in 1994. I was a very young boy, but some memories I can still see them like they happened yesterday. So I think that's what I can share on this side. Also important to mention, it's very easy for us to, well, especially for us who were born outside this country. It's very easy to, we understand poverty. So, and when you see people here complaining, whining and complaining, and you're like, what? Somebody has a place to stay, they even have a job, they are making maybe the minimum, but they are really not poor. Yes, they are poor by American standard, but they have more than actually what a poor person would have. So that was also another big lesson I learned when I came here. Yes, you can be poor, but considering other poor people, you are definitely not poor. So just appreciate the little you have, and the more will show up. So then that was the preface, and of course I also shared that indeed, with the driving with ride sharing systems or companies, when they started, they were terrible. Maybe I use a harsh language. They were not as effective as they are. And of course, with the corona showing up, it's been difficult. But these companies have definitely improved, and anyone who is driving can attest to that. And I think there's always improvement. That's what I also mentioned in the preface. So to the introduction, I just mentioned how only all I had was about rainbows and Jean Claude Van Damme, Jet Li, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jack Chan. So those are the things you hear about this country. So the music, the most entertainment, music, TV stations in over there in Africa. Let's say, let me be specific. In East Africa, always playing this music like hip hop, raps from like 50 Cent, like Chris Brown, Rihanna, and others. And you see how they address. The image they project of America is just this magnificent America. So, continuing, I'm going to go to page 10 IV, which is 14. So that's the introduction. So I said, time went on, and I eventually got a Microsoft Office a certificate, my GED, a medical assisting diploma, and now I hold a bachelor degree in biochemistry. Wow. So what can I say? So when I came, I know, of course, I quickly learned. Time came. Then, like once I arrived here, uh, I noticed that actual life was pretty much the same as where I was in Africa. People suffer, people die, people don't have a place to stay, people line up to get food at the food bank. But at least there's a food bank here, so I should also mention that. We don't have food banks in Africa. If you are hungry, you go on the street, you beg. If you don't get anything, you either go to steal or you sleep hungry. So, but just like I've always tried to work hard. I met this group of people, my church, and they all supported me. And I was able to get a certificate in Microsoft Office and a GED, which is the General Equivalent Diploma. Because when I came here, they refused to get me into high school, arguing that I was too old to go to high school. So I had to go into a general equivalent diploma program. So at the same time, I also got a medical assisting diploma, which actually I can work in the hospital. And I also have a bachelor degree. And recently, I also got a certificate into a network security. It was an intensive 4 weeks program. So maybe I should edit the book and add it on. But I'm not boasting. I'm just saying that yes, even though the image we are projected abroad of America as this magnificent, awesome country where nobody is poor. Yes, they are poor people. They are people who are suffering. But if you are here, you can make it. You can just keep. You can build, and build slowly. Slowly, you will eventually get there. So, of course, the thing I didn't mention here is that now I have a startup, and I have some different, a couple of patents I've already filed. And so you can, if you work hard, you can make it. Just like when you are in Africa, if you work hard with the opportunity, being in the right place, you can still make it. That's why you have billionaires in Africa. Sometimes I tell people we have billionaires in Africa. They don't believe it. They think Africa is a forest. Actually, one of the joke in the book, I once gave a ride to this South Korean guy, and he asked me, "Oh, where you from?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm from Rwanda." He's like, "Oh, from Wakanda." I say, "Huh?" So basically he think Wakanda is actually a real country. So that's a story that I can't remember the pages, but as you read along the book, you see that. Then I think so there is no checklist to say. Yeah. So at the conclusion of the part that says for the Africa, I criticize the ride sharing companies because yes, some drivers are falling victim of untruthful riders who complain about things that actually are not there. Like I give an example in my book how somebody complained that I hit them and my car got disabled. Basically, disabled means it was deactivated from being used in the lift up. But when I took the pictures, the same time they sent me an email and a notification, the same time I took pictures and sent it, and nothing had happened. So I talk about that this company should actually put more protection to drivers to make sure that people don't just go and make outright lies or make up stuff. Because keep in mind when somebody is in the car, it's just the driver and the rider, which means it's my word against your word. So whoever complains first usually will win because it's just me against you. So I argue that they should either have an auto recorder or a sensor that actually allows these companies to actually tell what's going on, or either drivers can be allowed to actually record what's going on in the car. But the question would be, can every driver afford to do that? So that's another question. Let's see. And then um, I talked that I live in San Jose, um, and I also talk about how I believe this company should be able to facilitate to drivers to tell to get support, and also to be able to how am I gonna put it? So to be able to say, to me it is a typical personal and normal situation. So basically I'm saying that we need to be given steps to like a procedure to screen if a situation is actually necessary to call 911 or to handle it on ourselves or call the company. So that procedure should be there, that the driver don't know what to do at given circumstances. The reason why I bring this up is because sometimes you will have like some riders who are really noisy, or they are either even smoking in the car. So what do? There's only one emergency button, which is once you dial it, it's a 911 call. But I don't want to call 911. I just want to call the company telling them that somebody is actually smoking in the car, and I told them not to smoke, and they are still doing it. So definitely a separation of those things should be there. And I think today I promise to do a 15 minutes, but if you guys like this, then I can increase it to 20 or 30 minutes. But for now, I will conclude from here. That's for the introduction. So this is part A or part one. Part two, I'm going to go into why I chose to drive. That's the title. So here I'm going to explain, despite all the accolades I mentioned, medical assisting diploma, GED, a bachelor degree, a Microsoft certificate, and now a networking security. Now I couldn't do anything about with them, so I can get a job. So I will explain some circumstances, and as you read the book. So, and I'm sure there will be some questions, because any new graduate from college will have a number of issues around on this particular point. So thank you guys again. I want to thank each and everyone who has already purchased their own copy, those who are reading, and kindly uh, you know asking you to write a review of the book. Whether you like it or not, I welcome all criticism, be it good or bad. I'm okay with that. But usually, a feedback is good. It allows me to evaluate my next project. Then also, please, in order for me to reach out as many people as possible, please consider take just 1 second or two, hit subscribe and like and share the video. That way I can reach out to more people. And it's going to be very important as we dive into the real world stories, as we debate on what actually I should have done, or what you should have done, and what I shouldn't have done, or what you should have done, you shouldn't be doing. So it's gonna be really interesting as we go into that part. That's part two. And finally, please consider sharing again. And I really appreciate your support. And thank you so much, and have a good evening. Thank you. Bye bye.